Khamzat Chimaev, an incredible fighter, very, very, very tough fighter. Um, has been hit with a few tests. Obviously, myself, obviously Burns. So and he's passed. So um, I'm excited to see how that fight goes with him.
MMA pros have just reacted to Khamzat Chimaev's new training footage ahead of his fight with Dricus du Plessis. On the other hand, Jack Hermanson acknowledged Khamzat Chimaev's intense pace and dominance in the early stages of a fight, but noted that Dricus du Plessis has the potential to shift the momentum if he can endure the early pressure. Hermanson expects a close and hard-fought matchup rather than a quick finish, suggesting the result could depend on du Plessis' ability to extend the fight into the later rounds. According to him, if the bout goes deep, Chimaev's conditioning could become a factor, giving du Plessis a chance to capitalize as the fight progresses.
That's going to be an amazing fight, and I think Khamzat is going to pull it off. But I do think that, especially early, I think it's going to be tough for Dricus. But if he can push the fight into the later rounds, I think he can have an advantage. So it's going to be a really interesting one. But I will bet my money on Khamzat in that one. But not like some people think that he's just going to run him over. But I think it's going to be a tough fight.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's really interesting, especially like you said, if it goes into the later rounds. We've seen DDP go 5 rounds. I know he does look tired, right? Like he has this weird style where he kind of looks like he slows down, but he's going 5 rounds though, right? Like that's something that's kind of interesting. Where I don't believe Chimaev has before. So.
No, exactly, and we have seen like in the was it like the Burns and Usman fight where he looks a little bit more tired in the later rounds. So yeah.
How was it? I know this was a couple of years ago, but how was it wrestling him, like just from the strength perspective? Because obviously he used to fight at 170, he's at 85 now, but I hear that he is very strong for the weight class. What was it like when you got to wrestle him that one time?
Nah, he's a really, really good, technical and super, super strong. He looks like a tall, lanky guy, but he feels like a super, super strong guy. He has amazing strength in his grips, and he's something special. So
Dominic Cruz praised Dricus du Plessis for his sharp technique, especially his smooth movement and seamless stance changes. Cruz pointed out that these strengths, along with du Plessis' ability to stay composed in high-pressure situations, might disrupt Chimaev's usual grappling-focused approach. While many of Chimaev's previous opponents struggled to handle his early intensity, Cruz suggested that du Plessis' steady and focused mindset could give him a key edge in dealing with that pressure.
Man, I actually really like Dricus right now, the way he's looking. Like I said in the Schmo interview, he doesn't really stay on the center line. His striking and the stance switch really supports him in the rest of the takedown defense. Because as long as you don't sit right in front of a guy consistently, it's hard to get a hold of the legs and shoot on you. So he's also very big and strong, so I think he can challenge the strength of Chimaev in the first 2 rounds, which a lot of people haven't been able to rival. Just the strength alone has been too much, and I think Dricus is sturdy enough and big enough he can challenge it. But I will say I think it might be the toughest fight of his career so far.
Moreover, Kamaru Usman praised Khamzat Chimaev as an incredibly tough and talented fighter, pointing out that he has already faced serious challenges, including fights with himself and Gilbert Burns, and managed to overcome them. Usman shared his excitement for Chimaev's upcoming matchup with Dricus du Plessis, calling it a great fight between 2 very strong and determined athletes. He said both competitors bring grit and heart into the octagon, which makes the matchup especially exciting. Usman added that it is one of the fights he is most looking forward to watching.
Khamzat Chimaev, an incredible fighter, very, very, very tough fighter. Has been hit with a few tests. Obviously, myself, obviously Burns. So and he's passed. So I'm excited to see how that fight goes with himself and Dricus du Plessis. I think that's a phenomenal fight. Both guys tough, extremely tough. So that's one of the fights I'm looking forward to the most this year.
However, Khamzat Chimaev's training footage continues to impress fans and analysts alike, showcasing his relentless work ethic and unmatched intensity. Whether sparring, grappling, or pushing through brutal conditioning drills, Chimaev displays a level of focus and aggression that mirrors his fighting style inside the cage. Clips often show him going full speed in every session, constantly pressuring his partners with a pace few can match. His wrestling remains dominant, and his striking has visibly improved with sharp combinations and constant forward movement. The energy he brings to training reflects the same mindset that has helped him rise quickly through the UFC ranks.
Do it, let's do it. Oh.
Beyond his physical skills, Chimaev's footage also reveals a mental toughness and hunger that separates him from many fighters. He often trains multiple times a day and rarely shows signs of fatigue or hesitation. Whether he's drilling takedowns, sparring hard, or engaging in intense cardio circuits, Chimaev appears to thrive in high-pressure training environments. His coaches and teammates frequently comment on his dedication and drive, calling him one of the hardest workers they have ever seen. These glimpses into his preparation give fans a deeper understanding of what fuels Chimaev's dominance and why he is considered such a dangerous contender. However, Ilia Topuria shared a balanced view, stating that he respects both fighters equally. He spoke highly of Khamzat Chimaev's aggressive approach, noting that Chimaev always pushes for a clear finish and avoids leaving the outcome to the judges. Topuria believes that Chimaev has proven himself and deserves a shot at the championship. Although he is personally connected to both fighters, Topuria made it clear that as a fan of mixed martial arts, he is excited to see the fight unfold. He ended by saying he hopes for a great performance from both athletes and wishes them the best.
He's the man. He's a savage. He calls him his shots. He finishes his opponents. When he goes inside the octagon, you know that that guy goes for the finish. He's not looking for the decision. That's why I respect Khamzat. He's a beast. So he deserves to fight for the title as soon as possible. We're gonna have an amazing fight because I love Dricus du Plessis. He's a great human being. I have a great relationship with him. I have a great relationship with Khamzat also. But as a fan of mixed martial arts, it's gonna be a very exciting fight. I hope the best man wins, and I wish best of the luck to both of them.
Coach Eric Nixon shared his evaluation of Dricus du Plessis, describing him as a disciplined and well-prepared athlete. After studying his past fights closely, Nixon noted that Dricus has shown steady growth, reaching a level worthy of championship contention. While some may see his movements as awkward, Nixon emphasized that du Plessis fights with intention and that his style reflects careful planning and practice. He highlighted the unpredictable rhythm Dricus brings to each bout, which can throw opponents off their game. In Nixon's view, the best path to defeating du Plessis lies in gaining control on the ground and neutralizing his timing.
I'm so curious to how Khamzat and DDP plays out. I feel like DDP's going to be able to weather the storm the first 2 rounds and then start taking off the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. What do you think?
I do too. I've studied DDP a bunch. Super respectful, nice guy. He's very well coached. Just his overall development, he's jumped leaps and bounds in between that Brad fight to now being world champion. People think it looks erratic, but it's not. It's very calculated what he's trying to do. It's a lot of those same reps that he does, but there's a motion to him that's kind of hard to gather rhythm. How do you eliminate all that? Take a guy down, put him on his back.
Ariel Helwani also gave his insight, describing du Plessis as a fighter who improves as the fight goes on. He noted that while the early rounds might be difficult, especially against someone like Khamzat Chimaev, du Plessis has the ability to make adjustments as the match progresses. Helwani believes that if the fight extends into the later rounds, du Plessis could turn the tide by studying Chimaev's movements and changing his strategy mid-fight. According to Helwani, Dricus's adaptability might become a major advantage the longer the contest lasts.
It's one
now,
of the
which
great
direction are you putting that now? Are you transferring that to DDP?
I think DDP figures it out. I think he takes him to deep water and he figures it out. And I think it's like a learning lesson for him and all this stuff.
Jason Mayhem Miller shared his view, saying that Dricus du Plessis faces a very tough challenge in Khamzat Chimaev. Mayhem described Chimaev as a dangerous blend of European striking and elite grappling, making him a complex opponent to prepare for. He wondered if du Plessis could successfully defend against takedowns, stay active in offense while moving forward, and avoid being taken down. Mayhem emphasized that conditioning might be crucial in deciding the winner.
Khamzat, this kind of thing is, all right, so now do you counter wrestle? Do you find your striking exchanges working when you push the guy backwards? And can you do that without overshooting and getting taken down? Do you want to get taken down and make a scramble and this? No, probably not. Du Plessis has work cut out for him. Like, he has to kind of figure this enigma out of a dude who can kickbox pretty good with this European style kickboxing and also really high level grappling. I don't know. I think it'll come down to who's in the best shape, who's the best conditioned. That's really the end of that. Happy birthday, August 16th. We're going to see that one.
He also mentioned that his slight preference leans toward Chimaev because of his strong wrestling background. Starting grappling at a young age gives Chimaev an advantage in controlling opponents and managing energy. Although du Plessis is powerful, Mayhem noted that his strength seems more from muscle than natural size, which could be a disadvantage if the fight stays on the ground for long. He concluded that an upset could happen if Chimaev uses his strengths well.
Chimaev, you know, because he has like this special ingrained, and I say this because you start the kids young and they just get a little extra something, you know, there's a little bit of extra feel. There's another 10,000 hours put on top of their athleticism because they've been doing this for so long, grappling especially. And du Plessis is an excellent grappler, but what it comes down to is being able to relax during those grappling exchanges and not use that much energy. His body is big, but he's like a bigger human being, not necessarily just a big muscle-bound guy like du Plessis. He's like du Plessis has the frame of a lighter man, but has put on muscle to compete at the higher weight class. Chimaev might have an edge. Might be an upset there.
Michael Bisping commented that Chimaev's best chance to win is by finishing the fight early. Bisping highlighted du Plessis' impressive record of 23 wins and only 2 losses, including an 11-fight winning streak with 10 UFC wins. This fight would be du Plessis' 3rd title defense. Bisping also reminded fans of du Plessis' notable victories, including a 4th-round submission over Adesanya and 2 wins against Strickland, 1 by decision and 1 narrowly by split decision.
And I'm telling you, he's going to try and finish Dricus du Plessis straight away, and that's his best bet. Now, Dricus du Plessis, this man's on fire, right? He's 23-2 overall. He's on an 11-fight win streak. He's got 10 wins in the UFC, and of course, this will be his 3rd title defense. He beat Sean Strickland by unanimous decision. He choked out Israel Adesanya in the 4th round, and he took the belt, as we know, in a close split decision victory over Sean Strickland way back at UFC 297. But they always say when you become the champion, you get 30% better. This man is improving all the time. He's got tremendous grappling of his own.
Michael Bisping warned that if Chimaev expected to easily control du Plessis on the ground and get a quick submission, he might be in for a surprise. Bisping emphasized that du Plessis is very skilled in grappling and has even submitted a group of black belt jiu-jitsu experts. While praising Khamzat's move to the middleweight division and his strong performance against Whitaker, Bisping reminded fans that du Plessis is a large and talented fighter who keeps getting better, making him a tough challenge for anyone.
If Khamzat Chimaev thinks that he's going to go out there and just take down Dricus du Plessis and just choke him out, right, like he's some schmuck, like he doesn't know what he's doing, like he's not someone that choked out an entire black belt jiu-jitsu team one after the other, then I think Khamzat Chimaev will be in for a rude awakening. Now, of course, since Khamzat Chimaev moved up to 185 pounds, he's looked phenomenal, okay? The way that he destroyed Robert Whitaker, that was so impressive.
MMA Guru shared that he once believed Dricus du Plessis could defeat Chimaev and still thinks du Plessis' physical strength might be too much to handle. However, he acknowledged that Chimaev is extremely dangerous, especially in the opening round. While his heart roots for du Plessis, his mind knows how powerful and dominant Chimaev can be early, posing a big threat if du Plessis doesn't stop it quickly.
DDP? I don't know anymore, man. These guys are... I used to think, you know what, DDP's got him. And I still think that, dude, he might just be too strong to be muscled around like this.
Yeah.
But Chimaev is truly on a different level.
I think DDP beats him.
I think he could, and I am leaning that way.
Yeah.
But now I'm real.
Yeah.
You know, I also want DDP to win, but I'm leaning towards DDP.
Yeah.
Because I think the idea of Chimaev is a round one guy.
Yeah.
You know? If he takes out DDP in round one.
Guru also recommended that Du Plessis should not just focus on defending takedowns, but take control by attacking right away, even trying to take down Chimaev himself to disrupt his balance. He noted that many of Chimaev's past opponents allowed him to dictate the fight's pace, but if Du Plessis pressures Chimaev from the beginning, it could break his rhythm and force him to rethink his strategy.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So this is why I don't think DDP should go out there like, got to stuff the takedown.
Yeah.
Fuck it, dude. Get on his hips before you.
Yep.
You know? And if he stuffs it, so be it. It'll be the least thing he expects. And for a second, Chimaev, who's a killer.
Yeah.
He's a murderer.
Yep.
He goes out there, I'm going to fucking drag this guy in the first round, destroy him. For a second, he goes, what the fuck?
Yeah.
If you can snap that on Chimaev for a second, Whitaker, he never had a moment in that fight where he thought, fuck. What's going on?
It was like, he got me back.
He was complete composure. Same with Usman. Burns had him re-second guess himself.
Yep.
But all the good first rounds he's had, there's never been a snap in his mental game. That always happens in the later rounds. But if DDP shoots on him, there's a moment in Chimaev's head where he goes, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's not this killer in a fight.
Yeah.
Shael Sonnen weighed in on the upcoming bout between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis, stressing that this fight is far from straightforward. He highlighted that taking Du Plessis down is a major challenge since no one has managed to do it and maintain control. Chael also talked about how the middleweight division is stronger than ever, with fighters like Kyle Barboza, Bo Nickel, Dennis Tululin, and the still relevant Sean Strickland making it an exciting time for the 185-pound class.
I mean, this isn't a simple fight where you go, well, go out and take him down. It's like, yeah, good luck. Go out and take him down. Yeah, it's true. And then you got to hold him there once you do it. Oh, and by the way, nobody else has taken down and held Dricus there. Like, this fight is starting to look different. The entire division is starting to look different. There's never been a time that 185 pounds has had such a spotlight on it. I'm watching this guy, Kyle Barrow, myself. I'm thinking this guy might quietly be the real assassin of that division, but that's not easy to say. I think Bo Nickel go all the way to the top. And I think that DeRinner is greatly underrated. And I don't think Sean Strickland is ready to move on just yet. Like, 185 is a really exciting proposition.
While Chael acknowledged that Chimaev is the favorite and said he would likely pick him to win, he admitted uncertainty about how exactly Chimaev will secure victory. He expressed doubts about Chimaev's ability to consistently take Du Plessis down or keep him grounded. Chael believes the first round is crucial. If Chimaev manages an early takedown, it could quickly put Du Plessis in trouble. But if Du Plessis can defend well during those first minutes, the fight will likely shift in his favor as it progresses.
Is it a surprise that Chimaev is a favorite? No, I would expect him to be. But I also feel as though if I were predicting this today, I would lean Chimaev. As long as you didn't ask me a follow-up question. Like if I told you, hey, I think Chimaev's going to beat Dricus. Okay, great. If we all get up and walk out of the room, we're fine. The problem is if you're going to ask me how. How is he going to beat him? Because I am not fully confident that Chimaev can take him down at will. I'm not fully confident he can keep him there. We're going to know in the very first round. If Dricus gets taken down in the first round, things are going to unravel very quickly. But if he can defend a takedown for the entire first 5 minutes, it's only going to get easier to stay on your feet after that. It's an exciting match. I would expect Chimaev to be the favorite.
Robert Whitaker commented on Khamzat Chimaev's takedown ability, describing them as extremely powerful and technically challenging to defend. Despite that, he sees Dricus Du Plessis as a resilient and determined competitor who is difficult to finish. Whitaker emphasized that if anyone can endure Chimaev's early intensity, Du Plessis' toughness and perseverance might shift the momentum in his favor, providing him a solid opportunity to come out on top.
Khamzat and DDP, the next fight. Who do you think is going to walk away as the champion?
I can't see anyone really stopping Chimaev's takedowns. Like, his takedowns are so hard to stop. It's super high level. Can DDP drag it into those later rounds? Can it get through the first grappling exchanges and then start to capitalize on his just like persistence like doggedness to go away. Honestly, if Chimaev can't get DDP out of there, DDP wins. DDP wins almost every fight. You can't get rid of him, right? Because he's like bold, dude.
Khamzat Chimaev mentioned that many tend to underestimate the champion, Dricus du Plessis, but he anticipates a tough fight for Khamzat Chimaev. While acknowledging Chimaev's strength and skill in overcoming numerous opponents, Chimaev feels the matchup will be highly competitive. He slightly favors Chimaev, giving him about a 55% chance to win, indicating that the outcome could easily go either way.
Everybody underestimates the champion, Dricus du Plessis, but I think it's going to be not easy fight for Khamzat Chimaev. But Khamzat Chimaev also strong. He destroyed a lot of fighters, and but I still think it's going to be close fight, and who knows who's gonna win? Maybe 55%. So it's Chimaev, like that.
Henry Cejudo said that while Khamzat Chimaev can finish any opponent quickly, he does not think that will happen against Dricus du Plessis. He believes du Plessis' ability to scramble and keep constant pressure will make it difficult for Chimaev. Henry Cejudo added that Chimaev will need to manage his energy and pace himself to last the full 5 rounds. Although he once thought du Plessis was sloppy, Cejudo now respects his high activity and toughness as a serious test for Chimaev.
Does Khamzat beat DDP?
Man, Khamzat could beat anybody in the world in about a round. It's super impressed with what he did to Robert Whittaker. I don't see that against DDP. DDP's scrambling, man. You're gonna need to really be able to pace yourself for 5 rounds. And with DDP's train just continue to keep rolling, and he's still steaming, and his train's still hot. It depends on how long DDP wants to take a break. You're gonna have to prepare, man, for a guy like DDP. You're gonna need a 3-rounder or a 5-rounder to get ready, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think DDP's too. I used to think he was the sloppiest thing on planet Earth, and I thought the same thing about Merab. Until they bring that volume and just the tenacity, it changes everything.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.